21 million VND for a semester at the most prestigious university in the city. And yet, exactly 0 VND for my breakfast today. Among 30,000 stylish students, I might be the only one quietly chewing on a cold homemade lunch. Someone once looked at my repetitive outfits and casually dropped a joke, such a country pumpkin. Well, I guess I really am. So country that I don't even dare take my beat up motorbike to the mechanic. So country that I can only swallow my cravings and walk past the street food stall. But you know what? The very country pumpkin label, along with tens of thousands of coffee beans soaked in my parents' sweat and tears, paid for the one single ticket that lets me proudly step foot in here, the University of Economics, Ho Chi Minh City. "6 a.m. At this hour, Saigon hasn't yet put on its glamorous and noisy coat. It's the rare moment I find this city tolerant of everyone. Hello everyone, welcome to a panelist yet unyielding day in the life of this country girl. I fold my blanket carefully every morning. In a life where so much is uncertain, where the next rent payment is a looming shadow, smoothing out the creases on a cheap mattress is my way of claiming a tiny piece of control. The rice my mother sends isn't purely white like the kind in supermarkets. It's cloudy and sometimes mixed with small stones. People wash rice to clean off the dust. As for me, sometimes I wash it really slowly, as if trying to wash away the guilt of living off my mother's sweat. My mom sends a lot of food for me. I kept them in the fridge. The marinated meat from my mom is frozen solid in the fridge. The love of farmers is always practical, rough, and silent like that. She was afraid I'd skip meals to save money, so she baked all the flavors of home and sent them here. In Vietnam, a meal without meat is a struggle, but a meal without the grain of vegetables is a tragedy. Cabbage is cheap and it survives for days in a tiny rented room. I always boil it. Frying requires cooking oil, and oil is an extra expense. Boiled cabbage has no strong flavor, just a milder, humble sweetness, exactly like the people who grow it. I clean the kitchen counter immediately. When the living space is this small, dirt and clutter amplify the feeling of being poor. Cleanliness is my cheapest form of dignity. I pack my lunchbox. I scoop the rice, carefully place the pork and the pale boiled cabbage. I only take half. I am already hungry, but the other half must survive until tonight. Poverty teaches you a brutal kind of math, the math of never allowing yourself to be completely full. Standing before this small, flimsy fabric closet is a daily psychological battle. Out there, in the lecture halls, clothing is a language. It speaks of your weekend cafes, your family's status, your vacations. I stare at my limited options. Every time I reach for a shirt, a phantom voice echoes in my head, calling me a country bumpkin. The fear of standing out for all the wrong reasons is paralyzing. You want to belong, but your wallet chains you to the margins. In the end, I make the same choice I always do: the white button-down shirt and plain brown trousers. I put them on slowly, pardoning the collar tight. I choose them not because they make me look good, but because they make me invisible. It is a calculated surrender. I am not here to compete in their runway show. I wear this dual uniform as an armor to protect my fragile pride. I pack my backpack. The photocopied textbooks are heavy, but the weight of expectations is heavier. The old motorbike died again today. I spent yesterday fixing it, but exhaustion eventually catch up to machines, just like it does to humans. Now, the money I saved by skipping breakfast is gone, handed over to a ride-hailing app. Poverty never gives you the right to be surprised. I sit on the back of the motorcycle taxi, watching Saigon pour past me. The morning air is a chaotic mist of exhaust fumes and the irresistible, rich aroma of street food. We pass a stall selling chicken pho. The steam rises like a warm embrace. My stomach tightens violently, protesting its emptiness. I watch parents dropping their kids off in shiny cars, handing them warm bread and milk. It's a scene of mundane privilege that I can only observe from the outside. I feel a bitter lump in my throat. The loneliness of the city hits harder not in the dark, but in the bright morning light when everyone else seems to have someone taking care of them. I tell myself to swallow the sadness. I am here to secure the future, but my parents no longer had to bend their packs in the coffee fields. But then the traffic stops at the red light. I look at the sweat short shirt of the driver in front of me. I look at the street sweepers, the lottery ticket sellers working with limbs, their face weathered by 1,000 hardships. They abandoned their village too. They are trading their blood and sweat for pennies. Looking at them, my self-pity feels arrogant. Earning a living is a brutal, unforgiving world. I am just one soldier among millions. For 3 years of high school, this place was a sacred dream pinned to the wooden wall of my rural bedroom. I starved myself of small joys. I crawled through the dirt to pick up leftover coffee beans after the harvest, just to hoard enough coins for the application fees. The tuition here is over 21 million dong a semester. That number is astronomical. It is an abstract concept to a farmer to pay for my seat in these air-conditioned rooms. I have to hunt down every scholarship available. I traded my sleep to work as a tutor, a promoter in loud supermarkets, anything that paid legally. This campus is built on modern architecture, but my place in it is built on colossus and exhaustion. I walk deeper into the main hall. The campus is breathtakingly modern. Floor-to-ceiling glass windows let in a blinding amount of light, reflecting perfectly off the polished tiles. It feels less like a school and more like a gleaming corporate headquarters. Everything here shines, everything except me. Walking through the main hall, my eyes are drawn to the brightly lit display cabinet. It's the UEH souvenir corner, a neat, glowing space showcasing the pride of the school. The shelves are filled with carefully arranged items. Everything is designed with such modern elegance. They look really nice. You can feel the youthful energy just by looking at them. I stand there for a moment, just quietly admiring the designs. It's nice to look at beautiful things. I don't buy anything, not because it makes me sad, but simply because right now I don't need them. My faded white shirt and my old backpack have carried me this far. They are enough to get me into the lecture hall today. And for now, that is all I need. Moving deeper into the hall, I find a vending machine, rows of colorful bottles neatly lined up behind the glass. Most of them cost around $10,000. A staff member had just arrived to restock the shelves. I stand quietly watching his hands move, listening to the soft thirst of the plastic bottles, a simple, repetitive rhythm of the morning. Right next to it is a plastic recycling machine. A small but meaningful green campaign by the university. Beside the machine, the space is covered in yellow sticky notes, handwritten messages from the other students, gentle reminders to protect the earth. In this modern, automated corner, it's comforting to see such warm human touches. Before coming here, I didn't even know automatic coffee machines existed. I have never tried it. In the city, coffee is effortless, but to me, coffee means dirt on my fingertips. It means my parents in the scorching sun carefully picking up leftover beans from the soil after the harvest. Those discarded beans paid for my seat in this modern heart today. I hear a melody. Someone is playing the public piano on the lobby. Art and music are beautiful, but they are also cruel markers of class. I love the piano, but learning it was a luxury my family could never dream of. The reading room is closed today, but the space outside is far from empty. The stone benches and open corridors have become an open air reading room. Everyone is studying so diligently. There is a shared, quiet focus in the air, listening to the soft rattling of pages and clicking of keyboards. It feels incredibly peaceful. For many, hard work is how you build a future, because if you don't work hard, a dream might just remain a dream. But for me, hard work is more than that. It is a quiet promise. If I don't study hard, I have no answer for the sunburned hands back home. The only way to honor those discarded coffee beans is to keep turning these pages. I find a quiet little corner to have my lunch. Away from the busy cafeteria, this small space feels like my own. The food has gone cold after a long morning in my bag, but as I open the lid, it still smells wonderful. I take my time with every bite, chewing slowly, letting the familiar flavor comfort me. It tasted just like home, simple, grounding, and made with care. Across the courtyard, another girl is also having her packed lunch. She is with such a genuine joy, no rush, no distraction, just her and her meal. We don't speak, but in this silence, we are both savoring our own little pieces of home. I wash my hands in the red room, staring at my tired reflection in the spotless mirror. Now I'm going to take the elevator upstairs to show everyone what's there. Now I'm going to take the elevator upstairs to show everyone what's there. The library doors are locked today. The official semester hasn't started yet, so this corner of the campus is written in deep silence. Usually, this is my favorite place. I would spend hours here, losing myself in the endless rows of books. It is quiet, safe, and full of stories. On days when my classes run from morning until late afternoon, this library becomes more than just a place to study. It becomes my sanctuary. I would find a quiet corner by the window, fold my arms on the wooden desk, and take a short nap. A faded backpack makes a perfect pillow. There is something incredibly soothing about sleeping in library. Instead of buying water from the vending machine, I usually get water from this water dispenser. I should probably apologize to you for bringing you to campus on a day when almost everything is closed. But then again, there is a rare kind of beauty in this emptiness. No rush, no crowds, just us and the quiet hallways. It's time to head down. I think I will skip the elevator today and take the stairs. It's a good excuse to stretch my legs, a little extra exercise for the day. I step outside into an open terrace. Despite the overwhelming presence of concrete and steel, the university has allowed enormous ancient trees to thrive. Their green canopies stretch out, filtering the harsh afternoon sun into gentle golden rays. I sit on a bench and just look up. The leaves rustle in the wind, a soft, forgiving sound. In this moment, the gap between the rich and the poor, the stress of tuition, the cold lunch, it all temporarily fades away. Nature doesn't ask for your bank account balance before it offers you its shade. My heart, here since 6 a.m., finally feels a moment of stillness.
Chết đấy. Đã lại thật đấy.
I haven't shown you the classrooms yet, the spaces where the actual future is supposed to be written. If you want to see more of this concrete castle, or if you simply want a quiet place to rest your mind alongside someone who understands the struggle, subscribe and leave a trace in the comments.